Hey everyone, Adam here. And today I want to talk with you about why I use WordPress and why I love it so much and why my agency uses it and why I am an advocate for using WordPress. Primarily because you can do almost anything you want to do with WordPress, and it's something that clients can understand and use themselves, and it's something that you can train people on. And it's a very efficient way of building a website. So that's the high level, the kind of the root of it is that I believe in building sophisticated solutions that are easy to use, and WordPress allows me to do that and allows my company to do that as well. So today I just want to talk with you a bit about the benefits and how I see WordPress being used from a small business owner level all the way up to an agency level, and what are going to be the selling points and why they should use WordPress over a Wix or a Squarespace. What are the advantages for them? What can you do that you can't do with the others? And why would they want to take on more complexity when they could take on simplicity? But at the end of the day, you need to make sure you're talking to the right audience, you're talking to the right businesses. And a lot of businesses are willing to take this risk because it allows them to do exactly what they want to do without being limited by a platform or by, other items that they couldn't do on other platforms. So, number one with WordPress, WordPress allows you to do anything. And I'm not even joking. If you want to start a really simple blog, you can do that on WordPress. That's how WordPress started. If you want an informational website for businesses, you can set up a 4-page website on a template, right? If you want e-commerce, you can install WooCommerce. If you want a membership website, you can install MemberPress. You can install a number of other plugins that extend WordPress far beyond what its core is. If you want to set up an LMS, a learning management system, you can install LearnDash, and you can integrate that right into the WordPress dashboard. So right from the get-go, you're not only able to have a blog, you're able to have regular pages, you're able to have a membership area, you can do selling aspects of it, you can set up courses. You're able to do that all from the base of WordPress. And that allows you to have one location where you can install each of these different plugins or extensions so that when your clients or you yourself log into WordPress, you're able to just find what exactly you need in one dashboard and you can go from there. Not to mention there's easy integration with Google. You can do analytics there, Search Console, SEO, optimization in many aspects, and there's a huge community and a large amount of companies out there that are producing products specifically for WordPress, from theme builders to page builders to plugins themselves. You can find almost anything you're looking for. And if you can't and you have the skills, you could build a plugin or you can create your own theme for WordPress because it's open source and you can integrate it right into your own website. So, in my opinion, more than any other CMS out there, you can do this amount of work. CMS standing for Content Management System, and you can do this work, right? And you can do it in a way where it's not as sophisticated to use once it's set up, and you're able to really, really enhance the quality of a website without having to increase the complexity on the client's end. So that's number one. Number two is longevity. So as I mentioned, you can do almost anything with WordPress, right? From that perspective. But a lot of clients that you're going to be working with, or maybe you yourself, are not necessarily there yet where you need every single plugin, or you're working on, you shouldn't install every single plugin, by the way. That's not a great advice, but you need to make sure you know what you're looking for. And some companies change, organizations change, needs change. So let's say, for example, you're starting out as a company and you need just a really basic website to get started with like a contact form on it. You can set up a 4-pager, 5-page website, team page, about page, services, and then a contact, right? And a homepage. You're able to set that up very quickly on WordPress. You get that going. 6 months down the road, you're basically looking at, hey, we need to be able to add an option for our clients to pay us online. It just makes it easier. You can add an extension, add a plugin to WordPress that allows you to accept payments now. Or you're like, hey, we want to start selling products online, or we want to start selling memberships, or we want to be able to create courses for our clients or for ourselves internally. You can do all of this through WordPress. Now, there are other elements to each of these pieces, right? You can go, for an LMS, you could go to Teachable, right? Or Coursera. You could go there and do it on that platform and set that up. You could do the payments through a different platform. You could do a self-hosted, through QuickBooks, or you could set it up for a multitude of different ways and different services out there to handle that for you. But that requires you to set up other accounts. It requires you to have external third-party services. It allows you, everything is a little bit scattered. This allows you to have it all in one place, and you can strategically implement it or grow it or set it up when you want to. And it's not going to increase the cost of your website because you already have the hosting, you already have the domain, you already have WordPress installed, you already have things set up. The only increased cost might be if you get a premium plugin and you have to pay for that plugin, and that's maybe a one-time cost or a yearly cost. So that would increase your cost a little bit, but it's not going to dramatically change anything on your platform. And then you can actually add on that cost whenever you want to. Now, another aspect here, the third one, is customization. So you're able to add plugins, of course. You're able to install WordPress. You're able to use themes out of the box, right? But they might not fit your colors, your style, what you want. Maybe it's not as intuitive as you want it to be. You can edit those and change them and customize them because you have access to the code. You have access to all of that information where you can either do it yourself or hire someone to do it that will customize each of these pieces for you. With websites like Wix or Squarespace, you're not able to dive that deep into customization. Now, you can surface level customize, you can add CSS and other things, but you're not able to go into the root. Like, for example, if you're in WordPress and you need to add another option to a plugin, you can dive into the PHP, add another function there that allows you to extend that feature. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you know what you're doing, but it is possible to be able to extend it, or you can create your own plugin where other closed networks will not allow you to add on a plugin because that's not in their closed network service, right? So WordPress allows you to extend far beyond what these other services allow you to do. Now, it's going to take time, it's going to take a lot of money to do certain items, but you can do it. And if it's important to you and it's strategic to your business model, then that cost is going to be more than worth it because it's going to either allow you to do something completely different online, or it's going to allow you to streamline your business operations to the point where you're saving a ton of money in overhead because everything is done automatically online or people can do it themselves. So for that third option, that's a huge one. We especially have been able to customize websites and solutions for our clients that honestly, they needed something specific to what they do as an organization. And that's where we come in and we can help offer that solution to our clients that fits their exact needs. And it's not something we're adapting to from Squarespace or from other platforms. We're not adapting it. We're not having the client adapt to that platform. We're changing WordPress. We're changing how everything is set up so that it works for the client exactly how they need, right? So number 4 with WordPress, there is a endless amount of opportunity to be able to extend it. Now, there's a question of speed optimization. You can install caching plugins. You can overlay it with Cloudflare. Cloudflare basically is a DNS service that you can connect from your hosting in your domain, and you can have Cloudflare kind of be in between to manage and protect your website. One of the biggest things there, though, is that you can add this third-party service there. Some of the other ones like Squarespace and Wix, they might have some of these included already. Like a CDN, a content delivery network, you can extend a content delivery network, but you don't have to have it right away. You can add that on later on. So there might be some included with hosting. There might be some paid ones like Max CDN and a few others that are going to be pretty easy to set up and allow you to be able to deliver a better, faster website for your clients and users. So that allows you to install kind of behind the scenes, either protectors or making things more efficient, or a content delivery network is used for people who have a global audience or a national audience. So if you have a server based in Virginia, your people in Virginia who are loading your website are going to load it really quick. But if they're all the way out in California, it's going to be a little bit slower for them to connect. So if you have a content delivery network, aka a server that has your information stored in California, they'll be able to connect to that server much faster than it would be to connect to Virginia. Now, it's in the minuscule difference, really, if you're talking about that. But if you have clients in Belgium, you have clients in Japan, you have clients in Australia, having servers in their area will significantly decrease the load time, especially if you're more of an e-commerce or shop oriented, where seconds can make a huge difference for you. So it's something to keep in mind as you grow. It's not necessarily necessary right away, but it's something to consider. So on top of that, you can install plugins that help you increase, do caching. You can increase speed. You have the ability to install like Yoast or All-in-One or Rank Math or any of these SEO plugins that help you extend the ability to write meta descriptions, titles, keywords, SEO content, right? That help you write better, make sure that you're following a certain process. So they help you write better. You don't have to follow it exactly, but they allow you to follow a certain formula or what they're guessing is the best path for meeting the algorithm needs of Google. So you can install this on your website. You can do it how you want to do it. It overlays, it kind of integrates automatically into your pages, your posts, where you can edit and change that content. You also can install security features. You can install almost anything that you need. Some of these come out of the box with these other things, and that's where the selling point for Wix or Squarespace is that they don't need all of these things because they come out of the box with them. They already have them set up. They already have a lot of these pieces, but that comes with the restrictions. And what I'm getting at with WordPress is you can install all of these pieces and have a really secure, really well functioning website and customize it on top of it and have none of the limitations that come with that, besides limitations of maybe budget, time, or skill, right? So the last piece that I want to get into here with WordPress is that it is commonplace. So 34% of websites on the internet are powered by WordPress, right? So when I say commonplace, what I'm getting at is when you talk about WordPress, it's known. It's not most people have either heard of it or they've used it before or they've had a blog or they've done something. And the beauty of that is that it's familiar. For clients, it's very familiar. Now, you might have a larger client that's a government organization or maybe a nonprofit they're large. They might not like WordPress because they've heard that it's not secure and they would rather go with like Drupal. Now, from a structural standpoint, from a hosting standpoint, Drupal and WordPress do the same thing, right? They allow you, their content management systems, they allow you to host websites, they allow you to build websites. They fundamentally work a little different with Drupal versus WordPress, but they do the same thing. They both have their own security and other vulnerabilities. So Drupal is a little bit more developer heavy. It allows you to do heavier customizations, it allows you to do certain things better and faster in computation wise than WordPress. But those are very specific items, and we're not going to get into that today. But the fact of the matter is you can have just as secure WordPress websites as you can Drupal websites. Now, do you have to do a few other things with WordPress? Do you have to make sure your hosting is up to par? You have to do a lot of other pieces to ensure that security, but you can. And that shouldn't be a deterrent for organizations that are larger to not have a website on WordPress. The same thing goes for large e-commerce websites. Now, you can host an e-commerce website on WordPress and you can do it really efficiently. Now, Shopify would be the direct competitor here if you're smaller, or a custom platform would be something a little bit if you're a larger organization. The reason why WordPress is kind of viewed as not as good for, let's say, hundreds, if not thousands of products, is that it's going to really slow down over time as you add more and more products. But my opinion on that is that, one, if you have a really, really good hosting, and you're able to set up the database properly, and you're able to really, really minify the impact, the amount of hits on the database, the type of things that you're loading, you're actually able to have a very high performing website that runs great, functions properly, and is secure with any amount of products you want on it. Now, there might be limitations from a theme or from a WordPress standpoint that you don't want to have with an e-commerce website and you would rather do it custom, but that's going to be a huge amount of cost, and that's not what everyone can do from a business standpoint. So if you're an organization that has hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend on your own solution and install it or high level solutions, then you probably are going to go with that anyway. But if you're an organization that has tens of thousands of dollars to spend and want a really good website, WordPress could work for you as well. That would be my last point there, is that WordPress can do anything. You can have it do anything. It can stand up to the task. It has the security abilities. It can do e-commerce. It's the all-in-one solution and package. Now, I'm not sponsored by WordPress. I'm not an advocate. I have no financial incentive to use WordPress. But besides the fact that people know it, when we can build good solutions and people can actually use their own website, that is a win in my book, because the best website is a website that's updated, a website that's maintained, and a client that feels very comfortable using their own website. So that is the reason why I believe WordPress is a great solution. And I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments on this. Any disagreements, please leave them in comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you next time.